Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. Today we take in the sights and sounds of a unique class at Herriman High School, where students are sewing their way to success one pattern at a time. We talk with some very talented young ladies in the Fashion Pathways program, who are using their fashion and design skills to make face masks for Special Olympic athletes in Utah. It is a service project that is also a labor of love for these students.
I'm Lauren Scouten. I'm a senior at Herriman High School. I'm in Sewing 3 with Jennifer Glassby as my teacher, and I'm also part of FCCLA, Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. And right now I'm sewing masks. What we start with is 2 sheets of fabric, usually a base, which is white, and then a top, which is a colored, and we cut them both 7.5 by 7.5 squares. Perfect. So we had the idea of like an assembly line, sort of. So one person does one step, the other person does another step. So right now I'm just doing the first step of sewing down the sides of a 1/2-inch seam allowance. And then I would usually hand it off to Liv to iron and pleat, and then Stella would usually do the top and the sides to finish it off. So it is different from other projects because I'm usually like sewing pants or a shirt, so it's a different thing every single time. So that could be stressful, but for masks it's actually very therapeutic, just sewing straight lines. I'll take the pins out of this side so I don't poke myself by accident. And the idea of the assembly line that we're doing is just to make us like really good at one step, so we're not constantly doing different things like we usually would.
I am Olivia Rinsbacher, and I am a part of the Advanced Sewing 3 class. I am at Herriman High School, and I'm a senior. So I'm basically at the beginning. I have just cut each piece 7.5 by 7.5 inches. Right now I'm actually cutting them so that they line up, because it annoys me when they're not perfectly straight together. And then first I go, and then I back stitch a few, and then I go all the way down. I have to sew, like, the ironing is the worst because I have to iron in the pleats. I think finished we have 38. Now we're working on more to finish 50 and possibly more than that, maybe like 75-ish.
My name is Stella Snyder. I'm a senior at Herriman High School. I am in the Sewing 3 program. So what I'm doing is finishing them off. Basically, all I'm doing is sewing around the edges and making sure they're straight and just sewing over the pleats.
Let's talk about the masks. Let's talk about your project. Let's start with Mrs. Glassy. Tell us a little bit about the mask project for this year.
We actually, the Special Olympics has worked with our business department in the past, and so when they put out an email saying we need masks made, the business department forwarded it to me, which I'm really grateful for. So we were able to reach out to them and say, hey, we can make masks for you. So they basically just gave us the stuff, and we've started with 50, and these 2 girls volunteered to do that and to take on their time. And honestly, we just started we've only sewn the one day, and so I think we're pretty much done with the 50. So we'll probably continue on and do more of them. But these girls, they're awesome. We did it in class the one day. They came in during their free period and lunch. They were here after school. They came on Friday to make sure that we could get these done really quickly so that we can pass them on to the Special Olympics. It's the only way that their athletes can compete this year.
Tell me, how does it feel to sew for a purpose like this as opposed to a class project or something else?
Oh, it's felt awesome. In the past, have actually done quite a few service projects kind of similar to this, but more with refugees, and so it's awesome that I'm able to get involved with the special needs, because I have friends with little, like, siblings that have Down syndrome, and I also have I think it's a second cousin who has Down syndrome, and we're always trying to get involved and help out with the community, so it's awesome that I'm able to do this at school and get my friends to help out too, and yeah.
I just think it makes like this class more significant, that we can actually help someone, because right now masks are a necessity, and they can be more expensive for nicer ones. So I'm happy we can help people who actually need help.
I think it's great that members of the community, you guys, are the ones making the masks instead of just purchasing masks. These are handmade masks, and I think because of the love in the masks, they're going to work better. That's my theory. That's pretty awesome. Can I take a look here?
Yeah.
These are some great patterns. So how long does it take you to make a mask? Start to finish.
So we kind of do it as like an assembly line. So each of us takes a part in the construction of the mask. And so it maybe takes us 15 minutes to make one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we've just made them all at the same time. Like, there's at least 10 that are done for, like, what's it called? Pleats. And then they're on to the next person, and they pile up, and then we're just done with them really quickly. I don't know. Yeah.
Earlier, your teacher mentioned Project Runway, and it sounds like that got stopped short by the pandemic. What was that?
Man, go to Liz.
Okay, so basically we were invited by a out member of like the community. He wanted to do a Project Runway type thing, so it was basically us against 4 other schools in Utah, so like Salt Lake City area. And so we were able to create our own team. So this team had photographers, models, makeup and hair, and then the designers. And the designers were all 3 of us. And we were able to design, and then we were starting the construction before we got cut short. So we were basically told to make 2 or 3 outfits and have models and make them to go down a runway and compete against the 4 other schools. That's basically how far we got, was the construction of the outfits. Our designs were pretty stellar, if I might say.
And you didn't get to have anyone walk down the runway with them?
Unfortunately not.
And is there a hope that you can reboot that and maybe still make that happen?
So our principal, he is very, very encouraging of this program, and he loved that thought of the Project Runway. So I've been talking to him, and he actually went up to me during the summer and was like, hey, when school starts, talk to me about Project Runway. I want to see if we can encourage it between just Herriman students. And so I think in the future, around February, March, how it was going to turn out like last year, we'll probably do something like that with the Herriman students involved more.
Wonderful. Well, make sure you invite me if it happens. I'd love to see it. Do some of your friends ask you for fashion advice?
Oh, friends?
Actually, I had a few teammates that would ask me for fashion advice.
Stay with us. When we come back, we'll learn more about the Fashion Pathways program from teacher Jen Glassy.
Are you looking for a job right now? Looking to work in a fun and supportive environment with great pay and a rewarding career? Jordan School District is hiring. We're currently filling full and part-time positions. You can work and make a difference in young lives and education as a classroom assistant or a substitute teacher. Apply to work in one of our school cafeterias, where our lunch staff serves up big smiles with great food every day. We're also looking to hire custodians and bus drivers. In Jordan School District, we like to say, people come for the job and enjoy the adventure. Apply today at workatjordan.org.
We're back now with Fashion Pathways program teacher Jen Glassy. What do you teach, first of all, here at Herriman?
So I teach fashion merchandising, fashion design, and then sewing 1, 2, and 3.
Now, you may be shocked looking at me right now, but I really enjoyed my sewing class. I took one in 7th grade, and I made a golf shirt. It was orange because it was the early 80s, and I was always very proud of that. I made a pillow, too, but that didn't turn out so well. Surprisingly, you would think the pillow would go better than the shirt. Long story short, I really admire what you do and that you teach such an important skill. And I love that there's a pathway. Can you explain to those listening what that means?
So in CTE we have pathways that help our students basically explore the different it's like career pathways basically. So they take classes that might interest them, and as they go through, the classes build upon each other until they get to the top, which with ours is Sewing 3. And they also have the opportunity to do an internship or take entrepreneur classes. So it's just basically a way for them to see skills they're learning in the classroom and how that will apply beyond the classroom, how they can take that to make a career out of it, and just explore past the classroom walls.
What are some of the internships that students get involved in when they're doing this type of study?
So we've had students say they've gone on and done with just we have a lot of smaller business here that was sewing, so we have some students who have gone on and done the costuming for plays or costuming. We had a student who went with Hell Theater and did their costuming with them.
Oh, wow.
We've also had just a smaller level with the dance classes. We would like to do more, so this is one that we would really like to get students out more into our community and doing internships out there.
But that's exciting to get kids thinking about careers that they might not have thought about that are connected with interests and abilities that they already have. And what are some of the skills, just off the top of your head, that someone who went through this whole program would develop? We have some experts
All
right here.
of them.
We have 3 students here. And tell us some of the skills that you have learned in this program.
Okay, I've developed pretty strong skill in sewing and just learning how to put pieces together, and with patterns, we learn a lot about patterns and how to cut them out properly and piece them together.
Personally, I've gotten a lot more creative and a lot more out there with my designs. I've also learned a little more about pattern making and how it all fits together. Also, what I am able to sew out of designing what I'm designing.
I feel like I have learned how to obviously sew, but also create new things and changing the patterns in different ways. And I think we're doing a recycle redesign type thing, and that's kind of what my Barbie is going for. And I've also learned how to alter things to make them fit me correctly. I've also learned just really a great skill for my later life.
Well, I'm going to show you right now. I didn't plan on confessing this, but I am missing a button on my sport coat, and I would have to consult an expert. There's no one in my home that can help me with this. So I'm glad that some folks have that skill. I noticed it this morning, and I just went with it because I had no other choice. Now, you mentioned a friend that's with you right now earlier, and that is your My Style Barbie. Is that what I understand?
Yes.
So you each have your My Style Barbie. I'd really like to be introduced. They each have a distinct style, that's for sure. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
So mine, I had kind of trouble thinking of what I wanted to do, because my style is kind of all around weird, different, obviously all of the other ones. So the fabric kind of looks like grandma fabric. I don't know. It's kind of if you were to go to the DI, which a lot of us love at this time of our lives, almost everyone in this school probably has a thrifted outfit. And then I just it's just a recycle redesign type thing.
Are those 2 turtles kissing on the shirt?
They aren't kissing, but they are 2 turtles.
But they're close to it. They're close to it.
Yes.
They're coming out of their
They're
shell,
very friendly.
for sure.
They're very friendly, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's my personality. So
the shirt is very reminiscent of my childhood in the 70s. I think there were turtle shirts in my past.
Yeah, totally.
Is that kind of a safe way to explore style, is on the Barbie?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it just gives you an idea of what you could make if you were to do it on yourself. It also it makes you think of what it would look like on someone and how they would wear it.
So we just talked with Olivia about her My Style Barbie. Let's talk with Lauren about yours. Okay. I'm noticing that you two are matched up a little bit.
Yeah.
There is a general safety pin theme going on. The crossed safety pins on your mask are matching with the safety pins on her skirt. Tell me about her style.
Okay, so for me, since we are just representing how we feel about style on our Barbies, I really enjoy pattern mixing, so I'm wearing pattern pants, She has like a checkered skirt that looks like it belongs on a chessboard, and like a little like stripe up on her shirt to like look like a racetrack. I really enjoy safety pins because I feel like they like give a more industrial, and I love silver jewelry as it is. And right now, safety pins represent a safe place for people to come to you if you are part of the LGBTQ community.
Oh.
So it's like I want to be welcoming to everyone with my style to like let people know that like you can come to me and yeah.
So it's style with a message.
Yeah, exactly.
So the safety pin is safety.
Mm-hmm.
It's connection, if you will.
Yeah.
And I like that the racing stripe, it's almost like the checkerboard is the checkered flag as well, perhaps.
Exactly.
Very nice. Okay, now let's talk with Stella about her My Style Barbie. What have we here?
So with my Barbie, my style, I'm kind of more bohemian, maybe hippie a little bit, but...
I'm seeing that.
Yeah. She's got a little top knot on her head, and her shirt is more of a... I don't know, how would you describe that?
Like a loose V-neck.
Yeah, loose V-neck, yeah, and she's got this little sash around her waist that's holding up her skirt, and the green kind of ties in with the headband, and I don't know, with my style, I just like the kind of loose, but... pretty style, yeah.
It seems like a coherent style.
Yeah.
And when you said sash, then I was like, oh yeah, that's called a sash. And when you said these two colors tie in, I thought, oh yeah, those two colors tie in. So I'm a little bit behind, but it makes sense once you say it. That's really exciting. It's very interesting because it sounds like you really get to not just learn skills, but to express yourself and to learn to be creative and think about the world in a different way. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, totally. Extremely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think your future is? Does it involve sewing? Does it involve the things that you've learned in these classes along this pathway?
So I've actually been looking into the Utah State Outdoor Product and Design program, and I've been wanting to get involved with them by like sewing. Either it could be clothing for outdoors wear or the equipment, and I don't know, I think it'd be super cool to have a future in graphic design, whether that be with like a big company like Patagonia. I think that'd be way cool. But yeah, I'm super interested in Utah State's program.
It'd be something to walk around and see people wearing things that you had designed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you, Lauren?
The dream has always been just a fashion designer. Like, I really didn't have a plan, but Miss Glassy was very helpful in giving us projects of, like, creating slideshows of our dream jobs and, like, what it will entail and, like, the education you need. So I know a little bit more about fashion design, luckily, and the dream would be fashion design. I wish to go to the U and study business, and hopefully that can get me into the fashion industry some way.
How about you, Olivia?
I think that it'd be great to become a fashion designer or work at an alterations place, because I feel like you'd get to work with so many great people that can't buy like the high-end stuff, and here you are helping them make their higher-end outfits. I also think that creating my own store would be super fun, so hopefully that'll work out in the future. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. After talking with you, I have no doubt you have big futures in fashion ahead of you. Have any of you heard of Garanimals? Garanimals?
No.
You should really look that up.
Okay.
It's from the 70s, and that was my fashion consultant, Garanimals. Check it out. All right. It's been great talking with you guys, and we'll continue to watch the exciting projects that come out of these classes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you will do today. We'll see you out there.